Hello, my friends. Amy with Campbell Creations, and today we are making some Irish inspired bracelets for Molly, and I'm thrilled. This is the elegance portion of these bracelets. We are making 4 bracelets today. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to start right here in the center. All of these are going to be multi-strands. We're not going to be doing any like crazy new, you've probably never seen this before kind of thing. Possibly, I don't know. But I wanted to make bracelets that I knew that she would love, or that I really thought that she would love, because the reason for these is pretty big, pretty big. She is a junior in high school. And at the end of the school year, that high school will close. It won't actually close. It will turn into a middle school. And so all of these thousands of students at this high school are going to be dispersed throughout the city into other schools. And so really tough, really tough. But they are the Fighting Irish. And I'm making Fighting Irish bracelets for Molly. Okay, this is great timing too, because if you're looking for some green inspired jewelry for St. Patrick's Day that's coming up, this is where you want to be. And here's the elegance of it. So the very first one we're going to be making today here, I have 3 strands of wire, and what I'm using is the Soft Flex Fine in satin silver color. Now this is going to be a 2-strand bracelet, but we have 3 strands because the focal strand is going to be a 2-in-1 strand. Okay, so I'll go ahead and set one aside for just right now. What we're pulling in for this bracelet is I have these gorgeous, gorgeous shell bead frames. Aren't they just gorgeous? I've had them for a while. I have some others as well, but this is going to be perfect, I think. So these are little bead frames. They have those little holes that go straight through them here. We're going to use them as that. So we've got those pulled in. I also have some other shell beads. I have 2 different sizes of rice beads. So I have these, and oh, aren't they beautiful? Those mother of pearl rice beads. And then I have some of the smaller. Okay, so we're going to be pulling those in with this bracelet. I'm looking at this very pale, delicate green for this one. The inspiration for it is this lampwork bead, and this came from beadboxbargains.com. I originally very first used this bead last year in one of their bead boxes that was the, was it key lime pie? Love it. Little white flecks that's in here glow in the dark, and it's going to be so much fun. It has my gold that I love in here so much. It's going to pull all of this in, and so I started going through and found lots of beads that I had that matched. So I'm going to be pulling in these little gumdrop beads, and these actually came in that same box as this bead last year, and I love these guys. I had gotten many extras because I just couldn't get enough of them, so I pulled some of those out. I have some 8mm rondelles, so we're going to pull those in that same colorway. Aren't those stunning? I have 6mm rondelle that we're going to be pulling in. We have some 4mm that we're also going to be pulling in, as well as 2mm. Yes, 2mm. So we're just going all the way down that line today, and it's going to be lots of fun. So we have those 2mm in that same colorway, as well as some 2mm cubic zirconia. For the spacers, I'm using these little discs that are faceted on the edge, and this is that Casey gold color. These Beadbox Bargains had on their site just not too long ago, so I gobbled some of those up. Those are 4mm. We're going to be using some crimp tubes for the other spacers, and I'm using the traditional number 1 crimp tubes, but then all these little babies. I was so excited. So this is going to be part of my haul video that's coming up here soon, but from Amazon, this came with the number 1 crimp tubes and all of those metal tones, and then look at these little bitty tinies, like my favorite. I love them. I love them. I'm going to be ordering more. I will have them linked below. So much fun. Love them. So we're pulling those in. We have some bead caps, 4mm Casey gold bead caps. Some of these bead caps that are also Casey gold that I had gotten from beadboxbargains.com. This also came from beadboxbargains.com. I mean, not everything on my mat came from beadboxbargains.com, but quite a bit of it did. I love this clasp. I think it is just gorgeous, and I think it's going to be beautiful with this bracelet. Oh, is that not just stunning? Love that. Love it. I'm pulling in some little lantern beads. I call them my little star cut crystals, but they are lantern beads. I have some 4mm in jonquil. And then I have some of these 8mm, and they have that beautiful green going through them. Look at those. Just beautiful. Love that. So we're pulling those in. I think I have it covered. Do I? Let's hope. Otherwise, I'll talk about it whenever we're getting there. So let's start out with this focal strand. It's going to be a 2-in-1, and we're going to start out with this bead frame. Okay. Now, I am going to go ahead and go through one side of this. So I'm going to go ahead and pop in one side here. I'm going to come out the center. Now, if I wasn't doubling up on this, I would be using a thicker wire, probably a medium soft flex, because this hole is pretty big and we don't want him flopping around too much. But with these two being on there, it's really going to help. Okay, so I do want to bead cap this, and I think I have enough room. So I want to bring out these bigger bead caps here. So I'm going to go ahead and pop one of those on. Bring it down through there, and then we'll put our bead on. And we'll bead cap that other side. Okay, and so I'm going to keep this out for a second, see how that goes there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to see where that hole is, and I'm going to start bringing this down. Okay, so I'm going to bring it all the way down as if it's going to be coming out of that bead. And just as soon as I clear that little threshold here, I want to make sure my bead cap's down and I'm holding on to it. As soon as I clear that threshold, hold on, they need to be even. There we go, a little bit better. As soon as I clear that threshold, I'm going to be popping it through, pushing it through, and then coming up through that hole. Now we may wiggle with it for a minute, and that's okay because we've got these double strands going on, but it'll pop through. Here it goes. Okay, bring this down to center. And that's what we're looking at. That's so pretty. Just so pretty. I think it fits in there beautifully. So I'm wanting to be about center here. Okay, so let me bring this up, because we're going to work up one side, and the way we're doing this 2-to-1, we do want to go ahead and be about as even as we can be. Hey, that's not too shabby, because it's not so easy to move all of those beads afterwards, okay, because they're going to be nice and settled down in there. So what I'm wanting to do first is, see, I have these two strands that's coming through here. I'm wanting to see where they are. There they are. I'm going to put on one of our disc beads. Okay, and then from here we're going to work with separated strands. Okay, so what I'm wanting to pull in is I'm wanting to pull in these little 2mm. So I'm going to bring out this cubic zirconia, little 2mm here in that same little colorway. See these, it's that same color. Look at them sparkle. So much fun. And then we're going to bring in some of these itty bitty little crimp tubes. Okay, so I'm wanting this to be a little bit of an offset. And so what I'm going to do is with one of these strands, I'll start with this top one. With one of these strands here, I'm going to first pop on one of these little bitty crimps. And I mean, you see on this fine wire, look how tiny that little crimp is. Is that not just adorable? I'm in love. Totally. Okay, so I have my little crimp on there, my little spacer bead. And then on this one, I'm going to do a green, clear green. So we'll do that green bead, the cubic zirconia, and then another one of our green beads. Okay, we'll bring those down through, and that's what we're looking at. Now on this other side, we're not going to start with a crimp, okay, because I want these guys to nestle really well. And I'm going to do the opposite. So on this strand, I'm going to do that cubic zirconia, one of our little green beads, and cubic zirconia. And I may fiddle with these cubic zirconia just a little bit because their holes are so small, but it is well worth it for me. I hope it is for you. And now I'm going to put one of those small little spacer crimp tubes on the top. So you see one of them has it starting at the bottom, the other one has it ending at the top. And we have that little offset here. That's so pretty. Now to bring these two strands together, I'm going to pull in one of our number 1 crimps. Okay, so I'll bring some of those down here. And so that number 1 crimp is going to go on both of those strands. These strands are not even right now, and I need to change that. Oh, because one of them isn't in the bead bug. How about that? We'll fix that real quick. Just to get us even down here. Okay, and then we're still looking about even as far as it being in the center, so I'll take that and roll with it. And I'm going to confirm that he is bead bugged on both strands. Okay, got it. Got it. Okay, so here's what that's going to look like. So I have that little crimp tube that is on both of those strands up here. Okay, that offset's just darling, I think. Okay, so from here, I'm wanting to go into a little bit of a series, and that series is going to involve these beautiful beads and one of these. Okay, it's all going to be super simple, but just fun and cute, and I think I'm going to love it. I hope she's going to love it. We're going to bring in those KC Gold 4mm, and these I will have linked below. I get them from Amazon. Okay, so I'm going to bead cap. Just a dainty little bead cap, and that bead cap, of course, is going on both of those strands. And we'll pop on our crystal. We'll bead cap that other side. Oh, I think we have 2 bead caps there, don't we? Nope, that's just one. He just looks a little thick. Oh, wrong side. Oh boy. There we go. Okay. Just so pretty. Love it. Okay, in between, I'm going to pop on one of these. And then for the bead that's going to be in the center, okay, so I'm going to do this little 3 series. For the one that's going to be in the center, I do want, you know, that deep, that bigger bead cap on the center, just to give some statement to the green bead that's going to be there. So pop on that, and our little rondelle. It's just the palest, palest green. I love it. And then all we're going to do is that same little spacer and our 4mm bead caps with another one of our crystals. That way that extra statement goes towards that center bead. Love that. So that's what we're looking at. That's so delicate and pretty. I love it. So then on the other side, we're going to do another one of these series. So we're going to bring these guys together with a number 1 crimp tube. These guys are stuck together. Or they were. Okay, so bring them together. Then we're going to separate those strands. Okay, so we'll bring these down, get these separated. And for me, it doesn't matter if the top one always starts with the, you know, baby crimp tube or not. That part doesn't matter to me at all. But I am going to start it that way. So I'm going to do one of those little bitty little crimps to start the strand off. And then on this strand, I'm going to do green, cubic zirconia, and then another little green. The other strand, I'm going to start off with the cubic zirconia. Here, little fella. Okay. We'll pull in that green. And then another cubic zirconia. And then on this one, we're going to end it with one of those little bitty crimps. Okay. And so now we'll bring those guys together with a number 1 crimp tube on both strands. And here's what we're looking at so far. So pretty. Now to end off this side, I was wanting to pull in one of these, and I think I wanted to do the larger size on this one, just to kind of end this one off, okay? Because we have in the center, we have that shell, and for this strand, we're going to be ending with that shell. Both of those strands are going to go through that, and then we'll go ahead and put another regular number 1 crimp on the other side. And then so far, until we get that other one done, this is what we're looking at. Okay, and I'm going to be doing this other side the exact same way. So just for good measure, I'm going to go ahead and bead bug this side, this end. We're going to do that same thing over here. Okay, so I'm going to put on that disc spacer. And it's going to act as that number 1 crimp essentially, right? So he's going to be that bring together. So now I'm going to separate these strands. I'll do one of the itty bitty little crimps. Then we'll do that green cubic zirconia. Oh, it's just rolling about. No, he says. Leave me alone. I don't even know where that little guy went. Oh my. Okay, let's grab another one. He got his way, I guess. They all came on a strand, so they all have their holes. And these cubic zirconia I had gotten from Panda Hall. I got, I don't remember if this one was 5 strands. It was either 5 or 10 strands of them. It was just a phenomenal deal, too. Okay. So on this strand, we started with that little bitty crimp tube, and then we did the greens, the cubic zirconia and the green. Then on this side, we're going to start with the bead and not the spacer. Okay, so we'll start with that cubic zirconia over here. We'll do our little 2mm green bead, then another cubic zirconia. And then we're going to end that one with a crimp. Just a little baby crimp. Then we're going to bring those all together with a number 1 crimp tube. Whoop. Okay, then we're going to do that same little series here. Okay, so these guys are all brought together. Now I'm going to do that 4mm. that's going to be on our crystal. We'll do that 4mm. Okay, then we're going to do one of our disc spacers in the middle. Go ahead and bring down 2. And then for that center 8mm rondelle, we're going to give it a little bit of statement with that bigger bead cap. Okay, we'll do another one of our little discs. And then we will bead cap the crystal with that 4mm. Oh, I think I found where that cubic zirconia went. All right. We'll do that last crystal. Now at the end of this crystal, I'm going to do that number 1 crimp tube just to keep those strands together. And then we're going to do one last series like this. Okay, so I'll separate these out. Do one of our little crimps. Green. Little dancing cubic zirconia. There he goes. And then another one of those green. Okay. This side, we're going to start with that cubic zirconia. Do our green bead, and then another cubic zirconia. They're elusive little fellows, I tell you. And there he goes. And then on this one, we're going to top it off with that little crimp. Okay, and then we're going to bring those two together. We're going to pop on a number 1. On both of those strands. There we go. And then to end this off, we are going to do one of those bigger rice beads. Then we'll end that with a number 1 crimp. I'm going to go ahead and trim that. After all this time, right? Pop on that crimp. Okay, so this is our focal strand. And that's just beautiful, I think. So good. So for our other strand that's going to be that offset, this offset's going to be pretty fun, I think. Okay, so we're going to come in here with that other strand. Grab him up here. There he is. Okay, so for this one, I'm wanting to bring these two in on this one, okay? Because what I'm looking for is for them to snuggle up like this. And I think it's going to be just gorgeous, right? So these are smaller, holes in the center. So with this, I thought these rondelles that we're pulling in from up here would be just perfect. Just what I'm looking for. But we're just going to use the 4mm crimp, and let's bring in one of our little baby crimps just to kind of keep it from wiggling around too much, right? So let's go ahead and get started with the first one. So we're going to go right through that hole. We're going to pop that up through the center. And if he doesn't want to immediately pop up through the center, just grab you a pair of pliers, pop him right up through. Okay. So for this one, we're going to bring in one of those crimp tubes. He's going to snuggle down in there. Then we're going to do that 4mm. We'll pop on that rondelle, 4mm, and one of our little bitty baby crimps. And so just like on the focal strand, I'm going to be doing the same thing. So you see how he fits in there. I'm just going to be holding on to it, looking to see where that hole is. That way I can pull him down. And as soon as he pops down there, pop him right back up through. Hopefully. Nope, he didn't make it. Oh, I think I did. I just lost it. Hold on. It'll happen. It's just fine. Grab a hold of him again. We'll get him through there. Sometimes they like to wiggle a little bit. Okay. Try to find that hole. It should be right there. There we go. So here is this bead frame. So fun. Now I'm wanting some of kind of a thinner layer gap that's going to be in between these two. That's going to be the offset here, right? So you see how that works, where that strand is just perfect to go right down through there. So the way I wanted to do that was I thought I would bring in some of these guys. That's where these guys come into play here. Okay, so I'm going to have, just like here where it's the two crystals and the green in the middle, I'm going to do the same thing in this little center strand. But I'm going to put one of those little bitty crimps in between each of them so that I have the spacing that I'm looking for. So I'm going to do one of our little crimp tubes. I'm going to do this crystal and a crimp tube. We'll pop on our green. Crimp. Crystal. Crimp. Now let's make sure. See, that would be about right. And actually, maybe I'll do, what if I did a bigger crimp on the center? What do you think? Because I bet I could go just a little bit further with this. Let's try it. Let's see if it's too overwhelming, we won't. And actually, because you see how it's bigger on this side, let's do the bigger on the outsides. Let's try that. Because I'm pretty sure I have the space for it. So let's try it. So if I do one of the number 1 crimps, that's going to be right up against that bead frame. And then I come in here with a crystal, baby crimp, green, baby crimp, crystal. Then let's do another number 1. Yeah, I think I like that. And that gives us a little more spacing there. See? A little more space. I think that'll be good. So then let's go ahead. I'm going to bead bug this side just so I'm not losing anything. Just bead bug it for right now. And then I'm going to come through this other bead frame. So I'm going to go ahead and find that hole, pop him through, try to pop him up the center. And if he doesn't want to come right up the center, no problem. I'll just grab a hold of him. There we go. And same thing. So we're going to do that little crimp tube, 4mm bead cap, our 8mm rondelle, the other bead cap, and the baby crimp. Okay. So now we're going to be doing that same thing. So see, I'm checking to see where that hole is, holding on to it all. Making sure I'm lined up as possible. As soon as it makes that threshold, push it up in there. Hopefully, pop right up through that hole. There we go. So this is what we're looking at. Now let's check that spacing. Oh yeah, I'm loving that spacing. There we go. That makes all the difference in the world, really, I think. Isn't that so cool? I think it's beautiful. Beautiful. And we're going to have a very simple series that's going down this strand. So since on this strand, pardon me, since on this strand we ended with that shell rice bead, let's start with it here. Okay, so I'm going to do one of those little bitty crimps. Let's bring down these beads here. So let's do one of those little shell rice beads. One little crimps on the other side of it. Okay, and then I want to bring in these little gumdrop guys. So with the gumdrops, I'm wanting the smallest to go towards our focal. Okay, so the smaller section goes towards the focal. Then I'm going to utilize those same spacers. So I'm going to come in here with that 4mm spacer. You see how it just butts right up against that? Yeah. So I'm going to do just another one on the other side. Bottom to bottom. Not too much, right? But really pretty. Dainty, pretty, fun. Okay, and then from here, I think I'm going to put on, let's put one of these guys on. And then we'll just repeat that series. Then we'll see where our length is. Okay, and actually what might be cool, let's try one of those number ones again. No, that looks really nice. It looks really clean that way, right? Really clean. Let's just leave it like that. If we need to add spacing, then we'll come right back and do that. Okay, then I'm going to come right back up here with another one of these gumdrop series. So we'll bring in that smaller part, do our little spacer, bring in another little gumdrop. Little bitty spacers, rice bead, spacer. Close, close. Let's go ahead and do up this other side and then we'll see where we want to go with that. So we'll go ahead and bead bug that. We'll jump over here on this other side. We'll do this very simple little series over here. Okay, that guy in the middle. Okay, and then we're ending with that rice bead. So pretty. Look at that. Very elegant, I think. Very pretty, elegant. Okay, so let's see what our sizing is looking like. Okay, so if I just lay this right on top, close, but we have a little bit of room. So let's grab, actually there's two of these greens, so let's do that, okay? So on this end, let's go ahead and do one of our little green, then we'll do another one of our little baby crimps. That's actually pretty darn cute. And then we'll check out that length and see where we are. Pop him on. Another little crimp. We're probably going to be pretty close now, so let's go ahead and bring out the ruler. Just going to pinch it. Make sure it's snug as it would be for the bracelet. And we are just at 5 3/4. So let's see where we are here. Haha, 5 3/4. Perfection, perfection. Love it. Okay, so by the time we end up, I think what I might do is we will close these off and I'll jump ring each of them individually and then we'll jump ring them together for this connection. And I think that's going to take up our space because what I'm looking for here is, because she likes bracelets in two ways. Okay, she likes to stack them. Okay, so that's what's important. She likes to stack them. So some of them, if they're all the exact same length, then stacking isn't going to be so easy. So the range, right? We're looking at somewhere between 6 1/4 and 6 1/2. Okay, if it goes a little bit over or a little bit under, it's okay because she's going to be stacking, but it's going to be relative to right about that sizing. Okay, so let's go ahead and close these off. Okay, so I have my clamshell connectors here. So we'll get 4 of those. Okay, I have my number 2 crimps here, and we'll get started. And typically with this first side, I would just keep it up at the tip, but because we have that 2-in-1 going, it's not going to be as efficient to do that. So I'm just going to close them up really good. This is first side. And then I'm going to bring in my Tough Stuff pliers. Make sure that crimp is crimped. You really want your wire to be side by side when you're doing this little process here. Okay, that way they're each individually crimped down in there really well. You want to make sure you're getting your pliers down here in the nook of this clamshell connector to make sure that it is fully crimped. No partial crimps here, my friend. You got to fully crimp it. That's what I do. I kill my crimp tubes, but I have safety and I know my bracelets aren't going to fall apart. And boy, I'm kind of hard on bracelets. Close that side up. Easy, easy. We'll do this other side. And I did put together a dangle here. I'd like to put that on here. Pop on our little clamshell connector. Our crimp tube. Okay, so I'm making sure that all of it's nice and snug. Everything's down where it needs to be. See, I was able to make a little bit more room there. But I still need it to have movement. I don't want it to be like stick straight. But I wanted to make sure there was no gaps there. Okay, so I'm going to grab that crimp tube, and I'm going to grab a hold of that wire and kind of pull up just a little bit on that wire as I make that crimp. Just to make sure it's snug. Alright, we're good and crimped. Trim that off. We'll close him up. Ooh, Oh, he's kind of poking out of there a little bit. A little bit closer. There we go. Get that closed up. Oh, he's kind of off kilter. You know, I've kind of had a problem with some of these 18 karat gold lined ones. That and their little holes being closed up. Let's go from that other side. Are they going to match up? Oh. Yeah, I think I'm going to be able to get them in there. Not ideal, but isn't that just going to be so pretty though? Look at that. Oh gosh. So, so, so pretty. Okay. So I'm going to bead bug one side of this one. Checking those. Let's pop this down in. I'm going to go ahead and bring that up here at the tip. And actually, what I am going to do, because there is that difference in the size, let's go ahead and try it. I don't do this very often, but I've had some asking how to do it. Okay, so since I'm using fine wire and this number 2 crimp tube, you can, if you've got that extra space, you can bring this wire around. See how I'm switching my hand? So I'm pulling my hand the other side. I'm going to grab a hold of that wire. I'm going to pop it back up through that crimp tube. Okay. That way it gives that additional security. And sometimes you'll fiddle with them. And you know, honestly, I don't do this very often. I just don't need to. But for those, if you are not feeling comfortable with your crimps, you can also pop on a little piece of, or a little bit of glue. Okay, so we're going to pop him up through that crimp tube. So what happens is it's going to be doubled in there. So you see here. So now you have double the wire that's in that crimp tube whenever you crimp it. See there? Double the wire that's in there. And it gives you that just a little bit of extra security. Okay, so this is the one side we're working on. We're going to scroll it down. So come in here and now you can crimp it real good. You see how you have that loop on there. So I'm going to come in here still with my tough stuff. And for some of you, if you want, pop a little GS hypo in there. You know, you can put a little GS hypo in your clamshell connectors. Totally. Okay. Bring him around and close him up. I'm going to be mindful because these are wanting to close. Some of these 18 karat gold filled ones are just really, really wanting to be wonky. Okay, close them off really well. So now you have that extra security on that one side. Was I missing a little baby crimp tube? Oh no, he just nestles up in there. Okay. Okay, so on this side, we'll pop on that clamshell. We'll bring in number 2 crimp tube. And I'm not going to double this one. You can absolutely double it. You can put a little glue in there. You do whatever you feel is right. Okay, I'm going to grab a hold of him. You may not be seeing what's going on right now. There we go. Kind of push down a little bit and get that first little bit of that crimp going. I'll bring in my tough stuff. And get him nice and snug as a bug in there. All the way down to the bottom. this off. We'll close him up. Beautiful. This is how they're going to connect there as the double strand. So pretty. So, so pretty. Okay, so what I will typically always do is whichever one is going to take the longest to make, I make first. So anytime I'm doing multiple items, the one that's going to take the longest, I'm going to do first. Okay, always, always. Okay, we have a little dangle here. So let's go ahead and we'll put a jump ring on each one of these, and then we'll jump ring those together. Okay, so let's bring in, go ahead and do, and with that connection I might do, because we have a little bit of, movement, or we have a little bit of room options. Okay, so I'm going to do this number 5. Let's get my trustees out here. I might speed this part along here. Just close these up. So now that those have their own little jump rings for nice fluid movement, I'm going to go ahead and get out. Ooh, do I want to do these? These will be pretty. These will actually go really well. I think that'll be pretty. I'll use these. And then we'll connect with these little twisted jump rings. We'll connect to our closure. I'm going to open that closure here. So this is super easy, right? So from here, you're just popping this open here on the end, and it slides out. So nice. So then whenever I'm connecting that, I want to be mindful of that, okay? So the way this is going to go here, I'm going to pop on this first one and that second one. Make sure that's closed really well. Okay, good. So we're going to now take a peek at this, okay, because of the way this closure goes. Okay, so here is the closure. So when it's coming around, it's grabbing from this way, right? So we're good. We're good. And this is a two-sided, so it doesn't matter. Both sides are going to look the same. It's not a one-sided bracelet, but if it was, you would want to be mindful of that. Okay, so I'm going to grab those. I don't want them kinking up on each other, so I'm going to grab them the way they naturally want to lay. Okay, so I have a hold of them. This guy's going on like so. We'll do that little dangle. Just make sure we're closed up really well. Before I do that dangle, I want to take a peek and make sure with our length that we're good. So she's about the same wrist size as me. Oh my gosh, this is such a pretty bracelet. I'm really excited about this bracelet. Look at the way this is going to look. That's so cool. Yeah, that's going to be just right. So pretty, right? Just so different. Different, pretty, elegant. I just love it. So good. So good. Beautiful. Okay, so let's make up this cutesy little dangle. So all I've done is I put a little mother of pearl shell, it's a little heishi down here, or a little rondelle actually, followed by one of our little 4mm. I have a little spacer, then a cubic zirconia, and one of those little 2mm greens, and then another baby crimp on top. So let's get a little wrap loop going on that. And then I may find a little something also to put on a dangle now that I have that, you know, that little crescent moon. Wraps here, because I think I have a little crescent moon that has some little cubic zirconia on it, and that would be cute. So I'll wait to connect this. We'll come back to this for connection purposes anyways. Okay, let's just take a peek at it. Not too shabby. Trim that off. Down here low. And we do not want this poking her, so we need to very carefully push that down. He's just spinning. There he goes. Cute. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside for just right now because I think I have something else I want to add to it. Okay, so bracelet number 1 is done. So pretty. Different, right? Different. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's bring maybe this one in. Okay, I'll bring this one in and then I'll push this over in its spot. So let's do that. So I have here some 3mm bright silver bead caps. Okay, I'm going to grab these and we'll set them over to the side. Okay, so 3mm bright silver bead caps. We have some little 2x1.5 little faceted spacer beads, and those I got from, I think these are the ones I got from the Panda Hole. Okay, we have some beautiful bead caps here, and these, I love those gunmetal bead caps. I get them from Amazon, but they come from Potomac Beads. Okay, I have 6mm and these 4mm, so I'll have those linked below. We have some little bitty triangle crystals, just a few of them, and then we have some little cubes. So beautiful little cubes. Okay, that's what we're going to be pulling in on this one. Okay, some little check glass rondelles. These are 4mm. Some bright silver bead caps, and then I'm pulling in tiger eye. And these are those beautiful, beautiful dyed tiger eye that I get from Beadbox Bargains. So we have them in the 8mm, then a couple of them in the 6mm. The same crystals that we used on this last bracelet, we're also going to be using in this one. Those star cut crystals, those lantern beads. And then I have, oh, I love these little clay rondelles. Those beautiful black little rhinestones in there. It's kind of a fun colorway that we're going to be doing with this one. I have some little seed beads and some extra crystals in case we needed them, and some extra little bead caps in case we needed them. And then this beauty is going to be our closure. That's so pretty. Love it. So then now our first bracelet can take that little spot there. I just love it. I think it's just absolutely stunning. Stunning, stunning. Okay, so let's knock this one out. This is going to be a double strand, and with this double strand, what we are going to be pulling in is Soft Flex Medium in that fluorite color. So cool. Works really well. I have these cut to 6 inches. Okay. It's going to be very simple, very easily put together bracelet, but it's going to be pretty. Yes. So for the focal strand for this one, we are going to be pulling in this tiger eye and one of these crystals. Okay. And what I'm wanting is the crystal is going to be dead center. And the only thing I want with this crystal is a little spacer bead on each side. So we're not going to bead cap that. Okay, so spacer, crystal, spacer. Because it's just going to give that pop to it, right? There's so much shine going on to it anyhow that it's just not really needed. But I'm wanting to double the bead caps on these tiger eye. Okay, and for that double bead cap, I'm looking for some of these 4mm in gunmetal and some of these bright silver. Okay, so I'm going to pull on a little gunmetal and then that bright silver right on that tiger eye, and it is going to be just right. So good. Love that. Same thing here. I'm going to do one on the other side. And this will be our focal for this primary strand. And it's not only just the focal, it is essentially going to be one of the series of this entire strand. Okay, there's not going to be some big primary focal on it. Not on this one. Okay, and then I'll bead bug that one side and we'll work up one side of it. So we'll go ahead and put on that other bright silver and that gunmetal. But statement worthy. Yeah. Okay, so let's pop on a bead bug. And we'll work up this one side of it. So what I'm looking to do from here is I just want a little bit of spacing that's happening, that's going to be going through this. And so with that, I think all I'm going to be doing is I have these little seed beads. These are the bright kind of metallic. They're like silver lined 11Os and that bright green. Love it. Love it. And I think there's an AB that's on them too, it looks like. Yeah, there is. There's an AB. And so all I'm wanting to do here is I'm going to bring in our little spacers. And I'm wanting to do one of our 2x1 little faceted spacers. 2x1.5, I mean. One of these little seed beads. And then another one of these little silver spacers. Okay, it's just going to give that little pop in between these little series that we're doing. Okay, I'm going to bring in a couple of these little crystals. So I'm going to do one of these crystals, and then I'm going to bead cap a 6mm. Okay, and so I'll do this little 3mm bead cap that I get from Fire Mountain. They are still out of stock, you guys. Oh, it's killing me. I'm getting way low. And then I'm going to do that star on the other side, or that triangle on the other side. That's so pretty. Good stuff. So on the other side of that, I'm just going to do the same thing. Little spacer bead. Okay. This is 1/2 of our focal strand. The only thing else it's going to be is that on the other side. Easy as that. Really easy as that. So I'm going to be doubling those bead caps. So I'll come in here with that 4 in the gunmetal, which really makes the silver pop. Pop on that tiger eye. Okay, then we're just doing a little spacer with that crystal. Those little brights. Just a little bright dot there. Okay, and then I'm going to pop a tiger eye on the other side. So we'll double those. So pretty. And then on the end of this, the only thing that's happening is a little spacer. So again, not a difficult process, not a difficult bracelet, but I do believe it's going to be one that she loves and that she'll wear. So good. Okay, I'm just going to do this on the other side and the first strand is done. Okay, so from here I'm going to do that little series of spacer. So we've got here that guy here, seed bead, spacer. I'm going to pop a triangle on. Let's get a 3mm bead cap. For our 6mm tiger eye. Oh, look at that chatoyance. So good. Like, look at this so far. Just so good. Easy, easy stuff. Very statement worthy. Okay, and then we're going to do that little spacer series again. Okay, then we'll come right in with those tiger eye and that crystal. Where's our bead caps? There they are. Okay, so we'll do that 4. And all of these bead caps will be linked below, you guys. I wouldn't leave you hanging like that. No way. And remember with the crystal, the only thing that's going to be with it is just one of these little spacers. Spacer, crystal, spacer. Okay, now I'm going to move my bead bug a little bit just to give me a little more room on this side. There we go. And right, it's just gorgeous, but this is all there is to it. That's it. Sometimes the most elegant and statement worthy is some of the easiest processes. It doesn't have to be complex to be gorgeous. We're going to end that out with a little silver spacer. And this is our primary strand. Beautiful. Okay, so for our supporting strand, it's also going to be a very simple little process, okay? So let's get these things kind of moved a little bit. I'll swap where these strands are. Okay, we'll bring this guy right up here. Bring this stuff down here. Not you, you're for later. Okay, so here, once again, I'm moving my mat all the way down the side. Oh, you guys, I tell you what. All right, so on this one, I'm wanting what's going to be right across the center here, I'm wanting to be these guys. Okay, and they're just going to have one of these in between them. So I'm doing maybe, there you go. Okay, spacer and one of these. These are not bead capped, They just have the spacers in between 3 of them. Okay, and on each side of these guys, I need to put a spacer on this other side. And then on each side of them is where I want to bring in these. So there's going to be 1 on each side. Kind of brings those darker pops out of that tiger eye up here. You know, do another spacer on the other side. Okay, this will pop on this side. That's where we're starting. Okay, on the other side of that, I'm just pulling 3 of these guys. And the center one is going to be bead capped with a 3mm bead cap. Okay, so I'm going to pop on one of our cubes. We'll do a 3mm bead cap for the second cube. Pop on the third. That's the series the whole way through. That's it. That's all it is. So I'm going to do another spacer, one of our rhinestones, and a spacer. Oh, my hardest job today is getting those guys to sit still, I think. There he goes. Okay, and from here, we're going into 3 of these. Spacer in between each of them. All right. Do a little rhinestone. Another little jumping jelly bean spacer. Okay, then we're going to do those 3 little cuboid beads. Center one with bead cap. So I'm just going to go right back up this list in this line, okay? That's so pretty. Just easy, but so pretty. Yeah. Good, good stuff. Okay, so now we're even here to where I know we're going to have 3 of these on this side and 3 of these on this side. And then I think, well, maybe we'll add one of these to the end. We'll see what that length looks like, okay? So at this point, we'll get that spacer on there. And then this bracelet will be done. So we'll do 3 of these with the bead cap in the center one. Okay. Cute, cute, cute. I do believe, well, let's see. Let's just gauge. Either way, we're going to need a spacer on the end of that. So let's grab out a couple of those. Okay, let's check out our length. This is right at 5 1/4. Let's take this one off. This is 5 1/2. Okay, so let's go ahead and put another one of these on. Then I think that should end it. I might need to grab another couple spacers. Here's one. I really only shorted myself by that much. Okay, let me grab another one here. Grab a few just in case. Grab a little spacer on that. Do the same over here. Oh, this is going to be fun to close up. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close these up. Okay, I'm going to close these up and then I'll be right back here and we'll get this one finished out and move on to the next. Very good. Be right back. So I'm picking up where I left off. I had to work, and so I am on my lunch break and I am finishing these bracelets and I'm excited about that. So I did go ahead and cinch these off this morning. So here is our 2 strands. I'm loving them. Aren't they beautiful? The deep colors in that tiger eye I think are just really pulled out with that black. I think it's just gorgeous together. Love it. So we are going to go ahead and get these connected, and we're going to use this beautiful little toggle from Beadbox Bargains. So cute. Okay, let's do that and let's move on to the other bracelets. So let's get this out of the way. I'm on limited time for sure. So let's come in here with our trustees. Let's get some little jump rings on here. And so let's actually look at this length. So I know these are the same and I should be right about, yep, just over 6. So that's going to work out really well. So today I was supposed to get my companion bundle from Bargain Bead Box, and I have another 2 orders that I've been holding on to from Bead Box Bargains, and then I got a message that it's scheduled to be delivered tomorrow. So I'm like, So mail hasn't come yet, but I'm really hoping that I get it today. And if I get it today, then the moment I get off work, of course, hopefully by then this will be getting ready to be released. I'll do that haul video for Beadbox Bargains to include that companion bundle. Super excited about that, and I really, really hope that it pulls through today. I'm going to be bummed if it doesn't. So with these, I wanted to pull in different colors, different, shades of that green, right? That way, no matter what Molly's wearing, she has potentially, hopefully, a bracelet that can match. So whether it's that deep, deep dark or the super, super light or the medium, then she would be covered. And that kind of stuff just makes me so happy, I love the thought of that. I'm big anyways on gifts of efficiency. I love giving gifts that are going to, help someone in some way, whether it's, something they've been wanting to buy for themselves that they just haven't or won't, or whether it's something that's going to make their day-to-day easier, those kind of things. That is what I'm all about when it comes to gifts. And so when creating something for someone, I want it to be efficient. I want it to be useful. Oh no, look what I just did. Daggone it. Okay, well that's going to be the next bracelet we make. I'm going to have to clean that up and get it ready and we'll make that bracelet. Actually, that's my favorite bracelet, I think. I mean, not the way it looks right now. Daggone it. Oh, you pretty little components. It's okay. Not a biggie. We'll get it all worked out. Okay, so let's go ahead and connect these to our toggle, and then we will be done with this one. What an adorable little toggle this is. There we go. All right. Okay, so let's get out. Actually, I think I'm just going to do these because with one of these already being here, I think I'm going to have plenty of room for that bar to get through there. I'll verify it. Typically, I do one little extra jump ring on that bar side just to make sure it can go through nice and easy peasy. But I'm thinking that it'll be just fine. Okay, so I'm connecting these two jump rings here. We'll put on our pretty little cubic zirconia cloud. It's just so, so cute. Make sure we're nice and closed up there. And then grab this side. Okay. I'm going to go through the inside of that because that's the way it wants to lay. And I'm a big fan of that just to make sure that in its comfort, the way it wants to lay is the way I want to grab those so that they don't end up constantly wanting to kink in on themselves. I may end up doing an extra jump ring on this. Let's see. Because the way he goes kind of on the side, But let's see. Let's see. I think he needs an extra jump ring. I think it'll fit fine either way, but I'm going to do an extra jump ring on that. Yeah. Just to make sure that there's a good amount of movement. Yeah, let's do that. grabbing part of one and part of another. Come here. There we go. Okay, so now, again, just make sure that is the way it wants to be. So I'm going to come on the inside of that one, the inside of this one. I'm going to pop another one on there. Close them up really well. Okay. And then we'll grab that other one. Yeah, that'll be better. I'm really liking this one. I'm liking this one even more than I thought I would. Just that deep dark that comes in on there. Oh, hey friends. I'm going to be live this weekend. That's what I wanted to tell you. I'm going to be live this weekend. I am going to be with all sorts of fun ladies. I'm going to be with Becky and Jenny and Colleen and Jody Krantz and Chrissy, and we are going to have a puppy dog party for Gemstone Orphanage, and I am just thrilled. I'm thrilled. It's going to be a blast, you guys. You've got to go. And so it's going to be Saturday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that is 5 p.m. Pacific Time, and that is 8 p.m. Eastern. Look at this pretty thing. Is that just so pretty? I love it. That is so much fun. Okay, so we have 2 bracelets under our belt. Okay, so we'll just set this up here. Now, I'm going to have to clean this up. Daggone it. I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to get that ready again, okay? And then I'll be right back and we'll knock that bracelet out, okay? Okay, we're all cleaned up. That was pretty bad. That took me a minute. So hopefully I can still get both of these done on the rest of my lunch break. So let's get to work. Let's make sure we can do this. What I'm making for this is a triple strand bracelet, and I do believe this is probably my favorite. I mean, not guaranteed, but probably my favorite. The beading wire that we're using today for this bracelet is the fine and soft flex satin silver. Okay, I have these cut a little long. I have these cut to like 8 inches. You don't need 8 inches. You need like 6. Well, for the size bracelet that I'm making, it's going to be about 6. Okay, and we are going to have a focal strand, and the 2 supporting strands are going to be identical to each other. Okay, and for this focal, I'm wanting to pull in these beauties. I have a few more of these as well, and they are just stunning. These beautiful mother of pearl shell crosses. I love them. Love them. And Molly's going to love them too. She's definitely going to love them. Look at that. That's just beautiful. And with these, I have some of those larger rice beads. They're just great quality. Stunners. And also, I have some of those beautiful, like the best shell hishis I have ever had. I got these strands from Sam's bead shop, and they are just, oh, wait till you get to the side. They are just so beautiful. So I'm pulling those in. I have some of my little discs, and these I get from Fire Mountain, and these are just beautiful little discs. You see that? Just stunners. They had these, and they usually go on sale a lot during Christmas because people use different sizes of those to make little Christmas trees, which is so cute. But I didn't do that. I have these little rondelles, and these are pretty flat little rondelles. So I have that champagne color that has a little bit of an AB on it. Then I have that beautiful green. And so it matches all of these so well. And then these lantern beads. And these, I believe these as well, all came from Gino with GGC. Usually if I'm packing some super cool crystals, they're coming from GGC. So look at those. They match perfectly. So I have some of those little column beads. What else am I missing? Oh, some other little hishis. And these I got from my friend Angela. Yeah. And so she had sent me a whole bunch of these, and they were graduated, right? So they started with like the 8mm and went all the way down to the tiny like 3-4mm. Love them. Oh, and these came on a strand. Let's see. Maybe not. I think I broke apart that strand. These came from Hobby Lobby. Okay, and they came with these and some other spacers, and I love them. And so we're pulling those little shamrocks in here. It's going to look super cute, and let's get going. Let's get this party started. So right in the center with these two, I'm going to have these two going like this. I'm going to have a little center for our focal strand. And in that little center part, I'm wanting to kind of pull forward or pull in all of the different spacer options that we're going to be doing with these strands all together in one little bitty grouping right here in the middle. So what that's going to look like is, first it's going to start out with one of these little dotted spacers, and this is that really light rose gold, which is going to go so well with the Casey gold that I'm using. So that's going to be right in the center, and we're going to put 2 discs, one on each side of it. Okay. And so these discs look super, super cool with these daisy spacers because the way they just kind of snuggle in. They just snuggle in real cute. I like them a whole bunch. Whole bunch. Now on these throughout, I'm going to have some bead caps on them, but I don't think I'm going to do that in the focal. I'm not thinking so. And then on each side, I'm going to pop in one of these and one of these just to pull in all the colors, all the options, all the things and stuff. So I'm going to pop on one of these little shell hishis, followed by a little mother of pearl shell hishi. See that? Look at that. Oh, they're so nice, you guys. They're so nice. Now on that other side, I'm going to do that same thing. So we'll pop on one of these guys. One of these. Now on the outside of these, I definitely do want to bead cap these. So this is what we're looking at for that center. So let's bring in our little bead caps and also these. So we're going to have these forefront because I'm using these throughout. And these are those itty bitty little crimp tubes that I showed you that I got from Amazon. I'll have those linked below. They're going to be everywhere in here, so they should really just be sitting right there out front. Okay, so let's bead cap this and then pop up on one of our little spacers. Same thing on the other side. Bead cap and little spacer. And then I am going to bead cap each of these crosses. Okay, so go ahead and get them on, and then we'll work from one side. I love how that just like sets it off. You know, super pretty. We'll bead cap that bottom part, then we will bead bug that one side. So here's what we're looking at for our focal on our primary center strand. Pretty, pretty. Okay. All right. So the series I'm wanting to go into from this is, it's going to pull in these guys. Here with a little pop here, and then we'll pull in one of these guys. Okay, so we're going to start off with bead cap. So I'm going to bead cap it. Actually, I want a little spacer in between. So let's do a little spacer. Pop on one of our 4mm bead caps. We're going to do, in most cases, 3 of these. There's some that's a little bit thicker, and I may end up just doing 2, but we'll see. Okay, that way this dark is going up against And then I'm going to add that beautiful mother of pearl, he, she, to kind of tie that in. Just really pretty. Now on the inside of this, I'm not going to bead cap it. I'm only going to put one of these little spacers in. Okay, and then I'm going to pop on one of these guys. Spacer on the other side. And it's just going to flow so well throughout. I'm going to go right back into that. So put on that little mother of pearl shell, followed by a few of these. And if they're not all identical size, that's just fine. It's going to kind of add to it if anything. And then on the end of this, I'm going to bead cap that. Pop on one of our little spacers. And then we're going to go into this other kind of series. So we have this series here, and in between this, I'm going to do a little bead cap with a couple of our little discs and one of our little spacers. So I'm going to do that disc. And I'm going to bead cap on both sides of this one. Little daisy spacer. So good. I mean, just the pop that happens with that green is incredible. I'm going to do a little spacer. Let's do another one of these. Okay, so from here, I'm going to do that bead cap. We'll pop on another 3 of these. Okay, so those 3. Oh, his hole. There we go. Followed by this one. And then we'll just do another one of these. And actually, I may hold off on that, doing another one of those. I may hold off on that. Let's just see where we're going to be. Okay, so on this other side, actually, I'm just going to put the little dot spacer. Yeah, let's do that. Then we'll see where we are with length. Because I'd really like to do just another series of this to end it, but I don't want it to end up being too long, so we'll just hold off. We'll hold off. I don't want to waste time considering I'm trying to get this finished out. Okay, we're doing the same thing on this side, so I'm going to go kind of quick on this side, okay? I say that and then I miss that step. Oh. I need that bead cap. There we go. those on. See, this was the thick one. I'll see if I can save him aside. Super pretty. I mean, just so nice. Okay. Okay, so now we'll bring in a couple of these. And one of these. It's that kitty cat hair that keeps getting me. Okay, and then we'll finish out with that last little he, she area. You know what? Looking at the size, I'm for sure going to want to do another one of those on there, so I am going to go ahead and do that. I don't think it'll be a time waster at all. I think it's going to be needed. I'll do 3 of these. Yeah, I'm gonna. Okay. It's just so pretty. And a little spacer bead at the end. Yep, I do think that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so let's re-bead bug this, and we'll add that little extra section on the other side. Then we'll talk about these supporting strands. Okay, so I have that on there. We'll just bead cap that guy. Okay, then we'll just add a little spacer. And then this is our focal strand. Oops. Just breathtaking, if you ask me. I love it. Okay, so what we're going to do from here is we're going to set this aside. And we're going to work on one of our 2 supporting strands. So I'm going to do one with you, and then I will do the other one. Okay, so on the focals, what I'm looking for is pulling in these. Okay, and the thing is because these come out so far on the sides, you know, I was really trying to be mindful of that. And so I think this can be really cute too. So right in the center of both of those strands is going to be one of our little shamrocks. And on each side of that shamrock, instead of going right into that gold, I'm going to pull in some of these. And these are like 15-0. They feel like 150-0. They're just teeny, teeny, tiny, and I love them. Okay, so I'm going to pop on one of these into gold. Okay, we'll do the same thing here on that section. So we'll do that green and that gold. Okay, and then we're going to come in with one of these columns, and I am going to bead cap it. So let's do one of those 4mm with a column bead. Let's go ahead and bead bug one side there. Just so I know for sure what I'm doing here. Okay, so after that column bead, I'm going to do this little series. And so I'm bringing in, I want the little pops of white to be in there too. So I'm going to do a gold one that's kind of coming off of that column bead. So here's where we are. Say, just the itty bitty little spacers. And then let's come in with this white. And so this is like that opalite white. It's just super shiny 11-0 seed bead. And I think it goes beautifully with these shell beads. I think it's just gorgeous. Okay, and so from here, this spacing that's going to be here is going to be at the tip. And so I'm looking to do, let's do the white. Oh, and then we'll do like the green with the gold pop in the middle. Oh yeah, and then that spacer bead. Right? We'll put them up together. We'll put them side by side here in a minute. Okay, but from here, I'm wanting to come in with these guys now. And I'm wanting to bead cap the green, but not the champagne. Okay, so I'm going to come in here with the bead cap. We're going to do that series of 3. So I'm going to do that green, and I'm going to bead cap both sides of it. And then I'm just going to put one of these champagne right next to it. Good stuff. It helps make that green kind of stand up and out. So then let's pull in that shell. And then we'll do another series of this on the other side of that shell. And you'll see these little seed beads on each side, or these little crimp tubes on each side of that shell, really makes it pop. I mean, it just is stunning. Looky there. So good. Okay, so let's bead cap there for that green. Do that champagne. And so then on the other side of this one, I'm going to do that same series that's right here. Okay, so I'm going to pop on that gold. Then I'm going to do the opalite, the green, gold in the middle. Then working back up, we're going to do that green, then opalite. End it with our gold. And then to finalize this side, or both sides, I'm going to do that column bead. Okay, and I do want that bead kept. Little pop on the end. Yeah, we'll do the gold. I was thinking about doing a green pop at the end. here's the first half of that strand. So since I do have to log on, like right now in work, I'm going to do the other half of this and I'm going to do the other one, okay? As soon as I get off work, we're going to come and bring these together, finish that other bracelet, and then we'll move forward from there, okay? I'll talk to you soon. All right, so we are going to do it. We're going to finish out this beautiful bracelet and the last one, okay? And this, oh, I just love the offset on this. I love the colorway. I love just the crispness, like the elegance of it is just singing to me. And this feels like totally Molly's vibe. I mean, totally, totally. And she is definitely a God-loving girl. She spends her summers, quite a bit of her summers, volunteering at different church camps and volunteering for organizations for, different kids' needs, things like that. So she's really cool. I think that's going to be beautiful for her. So let's go ahead and finish this out. So I'm going to connect a jump ring like I always do to the end of each of these. I guess I could have already done that. Sorry. And then we're going to connect them together for this beauty. Okay. So let's go ahead. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I really get rid of them all? All right, so let's get out my trusties here. Do I really say that every time, trusties? I don't know, you guys, I don't know. All right, so let's pop all these on. And we're at like 5 3/4 of an inch on these right now. So not too shabby. By the time we get those connections, we should be just about right on. And if we need to add a jump ring, not a biggie, we can add a jump ring. But this is why I also think those textured would be really good with this. Because we'll be okay if we add a little bit of length. Make sure they're good and closed. So the last one is going to be a little bit more of a funky vibe. And I'm pretty excited about it. I was really thinking about her with that one and, her cute funkiness sometimes. And, she's a pom-pom girl. So she does volleyball, she does pom-poms. She was going to be in the very first girls football organization next year, but they're not going to have that now because the school is going to be all merged into other schools. So she's really cool. She's a really cool kid. Good head on her shoulders. All right, 2 more here. If you hear a little bit of noise in the background, I am needing to keep one of my fans on. It is just super stuffy in this room today. It's unseasonably warm outside, which, trust me, there's no complaints about that. No. But it is really unseasonably warm in this bead room. It feels really stuffy. And I am kind of complaining about that. So these are all connected individually. Okay, so that's cool. And then let's come in here with one of these. And let's connect to each of them. That way it gives lots of movement, lots of space. I think that'll be just fun. Okay. So I think on this side I'm going to go ahead and connect this. What do you think? No, I think I'm going to connect it with jump ring. If I change my mind, I change my mind, but okay, but then that way we have this big ring, and typically I wouldn't do an oval, but it's big, you know. I think it'll kind of mesh them in together really, really well. I think that'll be good. So let's do, it's so hard to tell with these which, there's the opening, which side the opening is. It's really tough with most of them. Okay. Go in through there, up through here, and over through here. Okay, and I know for sure that I'm going to have at least one jump ring that's going to be connecting with that bar, just to make sure that bar has plenty of space. But we'll take a peek. It's going to be so good. Where's the bar, or the jump ring? So good. So good. Oh, that is just stunning. I absolutely love it. I love it. I am super loving this one. Okay, so I found this little charm. I thought that'd be cute to just dangle off the side, right? Okay, so let's come in with, let's go for the bar. Let's do the smaller one. And then maybe with that one, we'll go ahead and put that on there. I just don't know. We'll test this and make sure that that bar is going to be okay. But then again, I don't want to end up making it too long because I kept adding things and stuff. Oh, that's kind of thick. I may need that bigger one, huh? No, he's okay. Yeah, I want to test this though. I may need a secondary, just little tiny jump ring on that. We'll see. And then down here, let's go ahead. We'll connect him with this bigger one. And then let's make sure though, whenever we connect it, that these guys are in order, so we don't require them to be out of order in order to connect, right? A little work hardened right there. Yeah, I'm gonna grab another one of those littles. Yeah, we'll go with that 4. Just to give it a little extra, you know. Just a little extra. That guy on there. Then we'll close this one back up and then we'll connect with that new one. Yeah, I think that'll be better. Oh my goodness, this thing is just stunning. Stunning, stunning, stunning. Is that wanting to go? Oh no, I just had to twist it on the other side. Okay, we're good. Okay, so let's connect this little heart here, and then we're good. Knock out that other bracelet. And hopefully there's time enough that I can get this edited and get this out to you guys tonight, Friday night. If not, you'll have it Saturday morning, but I really hope. I think I'm gonna come down here. Yeah, and I'll connect there on that texture jump ring. Oop, oop. Oh, I caught him, I did. That's really cute hanging there. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful, right? Oh. Oh, that's gonna fit so good. Oh, that's gonna fit so good. That's gonna fit so good. That's gonna fit so good. Oh, and there's enough room. Oh, looky there. Look at those two together. So pretty. So pretty. Love, love. Love, 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 love. Good stuff. Look at bracelet number 3. Oh boy. That little heart hanging out. So good. Okay, so let's go with bracelet number 4. This is my funky bracelet. Funky bracelet I'm making. Okay, let's bring these down just so I can put that bracelet up there. Bring those over. Wow, I hope I remember what I did with this one. It's been a long day. Love that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so the beading wire we're going to be using today, I have these cut to 2 at 6 inches each, and we're going to be pulling out some fluorite color in that soft flex medium. So that'll be really good for this one. And there's definitely going to be a focal on this one. Okay, there's a focal strand and there's secondary strand. And in that focal strand, again, I wanted to be a little bit funky, a little bit different in it, right? And so I'm pulling out these wavy disc spacers. Like, look at these. Are these not the coolest wavy disc spacers you've ever saw? I think they're super cool. Well, they have a huge hole in the middle of them too. So it's limited me on using them, but I decided to take a bugle bead, and this is probably about, 3 centimeters, 2 centimeters bugle bead, and they set on there well. So I'm going to put that bugle bead right here in the center of the strand. And these, I'm just putting them on all together, stacked on top of each other. And they look so cool. They look so cool, and they are going to be this focal, you guys. They're going to be really cool. Okay, so I'm going to pop these guys on. And see how that bugle bead just like sits in there perfectly. And look at them. They're just cool. Just hanging right out there in the middle. I love that so much. So much. So on each side of this, I'm going to put one of our little daisy spacers. So these are little 4mm daisy spacers. And I'm going to pop that on there because what I'm looking for is something for these big cube beads to kind of settle into. And is that not just stunning? And they're drilled from corner to corner. And that's just fun. Lots of fun. Okay, so I'm going to grab one of these on this side that I already have that in. And you see how it just kind of hunkers in there? Yeah, and actually, let me try it without. Because I'm wondering if he hunkers in there anyways, right? He does hunker in there anyways. I'm not going to put that in there. That just looks cool. Let's put the other one on the other side. just different, and I like it. I really like it. So this is going to be like our focal part right here, okay? And then what I'm going to be bringing in is I want to bring in some of these discs. Here they are. These are little 6mm just clear glass discs, and they're so much fun. So much fun. That's going to be our toggle. So I'm going to bring in the discs, and I'm going to bring in some little 2mm gunmetal smooth beads, and I have some little faceted rondelles here that we're going to pull in, and then we have some gunmetal and some silver for our bead caps. Okay, I have some little cuboid beads, I have a couple little bling bling beads, so I think this will be fun. So from here, I think I'm wanting to just put one of these here on the end, because it's going to kind of take care of that corner. You know, I don't want too much going on with that, but you see how it kind of snuggles in on that corner there? I think that's cute. And so then I'm going to bring in these 4mm gunmetal, and I'm going to do these discs. I'm looking for 3 discs, and I do want them capped, so you see how cool this looks, right, with that capped like that. But on the in-between, I'm just wanting a little something different, and so I thought these little discs would do really, really well. And so I'm going to put one of those in the middle of each of these. Okay, so I'm going to do a series of 3 of these. Just pop one of those in the middle of each. Okay, then on the other side, I'm just going to bead cap it. And I'm going to do another one of those little gunmetal spacers. This one's going to be all about textures and, you know, offsets and differences, and it's just, I think, going to be fun. I really like that kind of thing, and I like playing with beads and seeing what kind of mixtures I can come up with. And so that's what we're going to be doing today, because right after this, we're going to bring in these little cuboids. Yes, we are. And aren't they just so perfect match? I love them. Oh my gosh, they're good. They're good. So here I'm going to do 3 of these, and with these I'm going to do, I think I want to do, yeah, I'm going to do one of these in here so it'll just nestle. See how that's going to look? See what happens there? That itty bitty little disc nestles in that there. It gives that little pop in the middle. Yeah, that's super cool. I'm a fan. So we'll do that here. And this one as well. So cute. Then we'll just pop that 3rd one on. Yeah, that's just beautiful. Yeah, let's do that other side here. Yeah, I'm loving that dark and the light and the, you know, yeah, just cool stuff. Yeah, and actually I think I might just do another series of this at the end. Let me go ahead and do that and get that end knocked out. Yeah, I think that's all I want to do. Yeah, let's do a little spacer bead. Let's grab bead cap. We'll just do another series of 3 of these with little plated hematite disc in the middle. I could have cut this wire a little bit longer, but I felt like I was cutting all of the wire too long, you know, and I was wasting wire. And then here I'm looking at this and I'm like, I don't know if that's going to be enough wire. It better be, because that's the size of the bracelet. So we'll be good. We'll be good. This is the end of this part here. Okay. And I think at the end of this, maybe I'll just do maybe one of those. Maybe I'll bring in one of those others. I'll hang tight on that part. Let's go ahead and bead bug the end of this. And let's just do that same series going back up this side. And look at that. Isn't that just so fun? I just think it's a blast. I think it's super fun. Love it. Okay, so we'll do that little hematite. And then we'll jump in here with bead cap and get these, get these little discs going. I think that's so cool. And then we'll do these three. And in the middle, we're going to do a little disc, rondelle, and a disc. Pop another one of those guys on. One more series here. Then we'll just end that out. So from here we're going to do just gunmetal. And then we'll come in with the final part, which is another little series of these little clear glass discs. I got thinking, I'm like, here I'm naming this my funky bracelet that I'm creating, but yet I'm putting it into elegance. And I was like, ugh, it's elegant. It's quite elegant. It's just in a funky way. Cool elegance. New age elegance, right? There we go. New age elegance. Okay, now I'm going to hold off on that end spacer on this one, but this is our first strand. Ah, yeah. Coolness. Okay, so we're going to set this aside for right now. Now, on this second strand, I'm wanting, because the thickest part is right here in the middle, and so I'm wanting the thinnest of what I'm going to be doing in the middle. And so what I was thinking is to continue with kind of having some texture is, well, these two, right? These are super awesome. I got those at Hobby Lobby. Just loads of fun. Love it. But here in the center, I'm just going to do some of these little hematites with a disc in between. Because that's just fun. And I think let's do a disc on the outside as well. And then we'll come up and we'll check that offset here in just a minute. Okay, so from here, instead of using these green, I'm going to pull in the clear. And so I have some little clear cube beads. Okay, I've got a couple more up here. And with those, I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm just going to put those little spacers in between them. So I'm going to do one of these. Okay. Yeah, that's fun stuff. So then I am going to bring in just a couple of these, and I'm going to do it a little different. Instead of doing a 3 series like I did up there, I'm just going to do 2. Okay. And so the way I'm going to do it this time is I'm going to bead cap it. And so instead of having, these little spacers in between, they're just going to be capped in between. So I'm going to come in here with my silver, bead cap both sides. So one going towards the other side of him, and then directly going right back in to one going away. And pop that other guy on. And actually, maybe I'll do a little spacer in between. Yeah, I'll do a little one. Help out with that little bling factor. Yeah, it's just going to be different. It's going to be different, especially when you know what we're going to do next, and that is we're going to pull in these guys, one of these. It's going to be a little different. It's going to be a little fun. Okay, so with these, I am going to have that little spacer there. So I'm going to do this little spacer, and then from the spacer, I'm going to pop on one of these. I'm going to bead cap the center one just to give it a little bit of spacing, but not too much. I'm going to do that little series of 3. Okay, pop on another one of these. I'm going to do my little clay rhinestone bead. Right. Then I'm going to do this little series on the other side as well. So we need a little spacer. We're just doing that center one, so pop him on. It'll bead cap the second one. And then our third. So good. I'm going to need a couple more of these little spacers. I'm going to end this side of the strand out with just 2 more of these little green cubes. Okay, and then we're going to bead cap them. And they're going to have a little spacer in between. I love that. Let's just go ahead and knock out the other side. I'll knock out the other side and then we'll look at it up against there. Okay, let me get a couple more of those spacers. I don't think I need that many, but guess I'm covered. Okay. So then on this side, we're going to do those little cubes. Okay, so I already have that spacer there. We're just putting a spacer in between each. Whoops. Yeah, so cute. And then we might need some more. We do need some more of those rondelles as well. And I have these in all sorts of sizes. Okay. Oh, no, we're not going to need those on this one. I am silly. I'm silly. I'm silly. Okay, that's okay. We're covered anyways, right? We're covered. Goofy, goofy. Okay, so I'm going to pop on a bead cap both sides. Actually, I'm going to bead bug this so I don't have to hold on to it. That'd be smart. There we go. We'll put a little hematite disc in the middle. Yeah, that looks really good. Spacer. Then we're going to go right into these guys. this bracelet I knew would come together really quick. So on this one, we're going to pop one on. We will bead cap the center, that second one. Then we'll pop a third one on. We'll do one of our spacers here. Then we'll do that beautiful little rhinestone clay bead. Got that from Hobby Lobby. It comes with some of those rhinestone rondelles in this little pack. Just fun stuff. I thoroughly enjoy fun stuff like that. Okay, and then I'll come right back here with these guys. Then we'll just finish out with our last two little greens there. Get us a little spacer in there. And then we will bead cap our green beads. And in between them on this one is just one of those spacers. Right, Amy? Love that. Okay. So let me move these out of the way and let's see what we're looking at on the size. Okay, I'll go ahead and just measure and then we'll look at that offset. Okay, we're looking at just a centimeter shy of 5 inches. So let's look at this one. And this just needs a little spacer on the end and then it will be the exact same size. Okay, I'm liking this. So let's do this. Let's grab a couple of these. So we will add a spacer to the end of each of these so that they match in length. And then we have a little wiggle room here, right? So let's see if I can go find a fun link that we can use for this, because we have room, because those links take a little bit of extra space. I'm going to, I'm going to close these up. Okay, I'm going to cinch these up. I'm going to go find a link and then we'll come back and we'll get them closed up. Okay? All right. Okay, so I think this is cool. I'm going to use these. I had gotten these from Auntie's Beads, and aren't they beautiful? And it would give us just the length we're looking for, and considering we're connecting to this heart toggle, I think that's just it. That's it, right? Okay, yeah, let me bring you down a little closer. How about that? A little better? See a little bit better maybe, without bouncing you around. Okay, so I'm going to use little black jump rings. And let's get this going. Let's get it connected. So I am going to put a 3mm on each of these, and then we'll connect it with the 4s. I got you down low, all right. I can hardly see what I'm doing. It's okay though. We're good. We're good. Okay, so let's put a little 3 on each of these. Sure we get that good and closed. My phone had overheated, and so that's really another reason why I needed to and wanted to, actually let me come up a little bit, needed to and wanted to get these closed just so I could cool off my phone. So anyways, I think I'm going to call about that this weekend. Something's not right there. I have a good phone. It's been overheating and it's been making like these waves. I don't know if you guys have seen the dark waves that come down the screen. The little dark waves. I don't know what those are, but I don't like it. So yeah, I'm going to call that in. I have insurance on it. But I was like, yeah, better take a minute here. Better get this bad boy cooled down so it doesn't just stop on me, you know. We do not want that. All right, here we go. And so after all this, we are down to the last minute or so, and all of our bracelets are going to be done. And I'm excited. And then I can finally give them to Molly. I wasn't kidding, you guys. I've had some of these designed and just like done since like Christmas, around Christmas time. So this was needed. I have projects I need to get on for all of my bead box friends and the goodies that I get from them. But I really needed to get these done for her. And I really wanted to get these done for her. You know, so I did. Got her done. All right, so then these are the 4mm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 4mm, connect to each of these 3s, and connect that here if that works out right. You know, if not, we'll add another jump ring just so it's not kinking on itself. So let's see. So if I come in here like so. Okay. Then when this connects here, let's see what that looks like. I think it'll be good, especially because there's no front or back really to this bracelet. There just is to, oh, Amy Shale. Oh, barely. That's all it takes though. That is all it takes. I should have grabbed that with my fingers. I know better. My fingers will overtake everything. Okay, let's make sure this bad boy's closed up really well this time. Is there any slit? Nope, I don't think so this time. I think we're good. Hope we're good. Yeah, that's going to be really cute. That'll be really, really cute. Okay, so then let's do this other side. So I'll let these kind of roll down so I know which way they want to go. Okay. So we have them in here. Jasper, you're fine, bud. Then we'll connect our link. Oh, the neighbors are here talking. I see. Neighbors are out there, Steve. Jasper's like, oh, no, you don't. All the babies are doing good, by the way. All the babies are doing good. We are at the point now where, oh, I'm not good. Look. I'm not. Let's fix that. We're at the point now where, and it absolutely breaks my heart, but I have to be hands off with Squirt. I have to be hands off with him. He has to be in his enclosure instead of just running around the house. And that is to ensure that when he goes to acclimate outside, that he does not think that all other little animals are his friends, that all other people are his mamas, because that is setting him up for failure. And as much as I miss holding him, gotta make sure. I mean, failure's not an option. Failure means death. So that's not an option. So I've been trying not to talk about him so that I don't cry. Because he's fine. Trust me, he's fine, my friends. He's fine. I mean, he don't care as long as I'm feeding him and, coming up to his enclosure and talking to him, but he's my baby. And I can't see this jump ring. Oh. I was lucky on this one. It did not get closed near enough. Oh, here I am now sniffling, and oh boy. Anyways, all the babies are doing fine. It's just the mamas sometimes that are big old babies. Oh goodness, okay. But I do believe this is going to be beautiful. And speaking of babies, Lily came in to say hi. Do you hear Lily saying hi to us? What's up, Lil? Lilybug. Lily's the one that brought Squirt to me. I've had that discussion with her as well. Don't bring any more babies to me. I can't handle it. Mama don't deal well. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. On this side, I'm going to connect directly to the heart. Okay. And then on the other side, I'm going to add a little bit jump ring just to make sure that that toggle bar has plenty of space. And so our little heart is two-sided. And tell me this isn't just a wicked cute little bracelet. I just think it's so cool. I think it's funky and cool. And I love the addition of the links. Oops. Come here, buddy. Oh, I think the links actually make it. Oh yeah, it's definitely the neighbors that's here. It's Friday night. Steve must have had the garage open. So it's funny because, Steve is a master electrician by trade. Well, across the street is so across the street we have what is he? An iron worker. And then next door to our right, we have a pipe fitter. And then next door to our left, we have a doctor. And so they all joke about how, we have all the trades, including the one that fixes them whenever they mess up in their trade. And I just think it's funny. But they have this thing where if the garage door stays open, like if, our garage door is just wide open, then that is an invitation for any of the neighbors to come over and hang out. And so anytime I hear any of the neighbor guys down there, I'm like, oh, Steve must have left the door open. So I'm going to try to hustle with this bracelet now because it is Dave from across the street that's here, and he's pretty loud. Is that shut all the way? I just had to go and cry and now I can't see anything. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay, and then I'm going to take this little 3 and I'm going to connect the little 3 to that toggle bar. Come on. Okay. There we go. Oh boy. I got me a little jumping ring here. I sure did. I sure did. Okay, there he goes. This is super cute, right? This is so super cute. I love that. I love that more than I even thought I would love that. That is so cool. Let's see. Who knows? Maybe she won't like it and I can keep it. Oh, that is so good. Look at that. That is just fun. Oh, my friends. I got Molly's bracelets done. All of them. I'm super excited. You guys, I appreciate you being here with me. I so appreciate you being here with me. Thank you for, hanging in as I'm like coming and going and coming and going and working and then come back and but I will, at the end of this, at the end of this tutorial, I will put a picture also with all of them, the rustic and the elegant together, right? And then I still haven't connected this, but I'll connect him there. He's going to have a little dangle on him. And, 4. Don't want to miss number 4. Look at these parties. Thank you guys. I have so much work to do. There is so much fun stuff I want to do. You guys, tomorrow night, or maybe tonight, depending on when I release this, Saturday, this weekend on Saturday, 7 p.m., I'm going to be live with all sorts of awesome people. So we're going to have Colleen and Jody and Becky and Jenny and Chrissy. And we are going to be having ourselves a little party with Gemstone Orphanage. You want to come join us? Come join us. All right. I'll link that below as well. Until we meet back here, my friends, thank you. Thank you so much. Bye for now.